Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Gillian Barry, and today we have an amazing guest in store for you guys. We have a woman by the name of Jennie, and she is on a massive juice cleanse. Today, I believe she is on day 159. So, over 5 months of drinking nothing but juice for a fast. She has seen amazing results mentally, physically, spiritually. She has lost around 59 pounds, and just the benefits are endless. We are going to sit down with her today, talk about what has happened and I just love these juicing stories. I think they just do miracles for people and they're amazing. So let's get right into it. Hey, Jennie, how's it going?
Hey, it's going good, Jillian. How are you?
I'm great. And thanks so much for being on. You're all the way in Texas today. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. I think you're amazing. You really caught my eye on Facebook. Actually, one of my subscribers sent me your link and I was like, hey, I'm friends with her anyway. So then I looked because I don't scroll on Facebook very much. And I was like, wow, oh my gosh, this is such a huge transformation. The photos you posted. So, what led you to do such a massive juice cleanse like this?
Well, after I had my daughter a couple years ago, just right like a week before COVID lockdown, after I had her, I just hadn't been, I never felt like I got back to myself, and I started having a lot of really bad inflammation and some health issues come up after her birth that just really made me want to like improve the quality of my life and extend my life and have a longer time with my family. They're the most important thing to me. So I just wasn't feeling my best. It was hard to chase my kids around. I was struggling with my mental health and I had just the worst inflammation like in my joints, so bad. And sometimes you go with that stuff for a while and you start to get used to it. And I had sort of started getting used to feeling that way, and I really wanted to take my power back and be a good example for my kids for how to live healthy.
Amazing. And how did you first hear it? Was there like a specific video or like somebody that inspired you to do this?
There was no one person in particular because it took me many tries. I started watching raw vegan videos around 2018, when I was pregnant with my son. I got really interested in just living a healthier life and eating more natural foods, God's plant foods, because I feel
Hmm.
that they're so beneficial. And I would watch a lot of different people. You, in the beginning, I watched a lot Tanny Raw and Shane Sterling and Aline, and there's just been a ton of people that I've watched. I mean, more than I can even name, I think. And it's so beautiful people share their stories. But oh, and Ellen Fisher, when she used to eat all raw, I loved her gentle parenting and everything. So I watched a lot of her videos. And I tried many times to eat a raw vegan diet, and the most I could ever go was like 10 days or so. It
Yeah.
also took me a couple times on the juice too. So I want to tell anybody who feels like they're struggling and that they can't do it or they're down because you didn't get it on the first time. That's not what matters. What matters is that you just keep on trying, and eventually you'll be able to get it.
Great point. I remember the first time I did a juice cleanse, I didn't even make it through the first day. I was like, oh, I'm going to faint or like, this is crazy. What am I doing? I didn't even make it to the end of the
Yeah,
day. And then I ended up doing 37 days. And I really think for
that's
me, at
awesome.
least, the key for me was like drinking a lot. So, like juice feasting, not fasting, like having a huge amount of calories and drinking a lot of juice. Is that what has made it work for you? Like, what would you say has gotten you to 159 days, right? This is over 5 months, I think, correct? Yeah, this is a long time.
Yeah, so what's gotten me here? What's gotten me here is, yes, drinking a lot of juice, especially like, whenever you're not feeling the greatest, then you should
Mm,
drink more, even though sometimes intuition is not to. And also, like community, talking with people helps so much. So there's so many different beautiful communities online that you can join that can help you. That's how I met you in Shane's
mhm.
group. But there are a ton of groups out there. I'm also in lots of groups that just help, support the soul and find someone you can talk to, a friend that you can talk to about what's going on. And even better, if you can find someone who's juicing too.
Mhm.
If you can find someone who's juicing too and kind of do like a little buddy system and help each other out,
Yeah. And I know
That really
before we got on the
helps.
call, you said that I think you said your husband just finished a 100-day juice fast, right?
He did.
Wow.
I think I was around day 56, and I'm kind of embarrassed even saying it, but he said that he got it inspired and that he was like, "I'm thinking about juicing too." So I was like, "Oh, okay, go ahead and start," and I just hurried up and, like, bought a
Yeah.
whole bunch of stuff and made him a whole bunch of juice and just kinda like, "There you go, that's all you have to have," and, like, he never had to make his juice or anything, and,
Yeah.
so that makes it a lot easier too to just say, "Okay," but he did it. I mean, I'm so impressed. He got on, he was like, "I don't know how long I'm gonna go," and then he did 100 days.
That's huge. Wow. And how was his experience? Did he experience a lot of benefits?
Wow, he's like a spring chicken now. Like, we go to the park and we go for runs now, and my husband, "Babe, do you mind if I say how old you are?" "Okay." Wait, how old is he? Oh, yeah, so yeah, he's in his early 40s, he's 42, and
Yeah.
he's, like, sprinting now, like, we go to the park and we go for sprints. That's actually how we celebrated his 100 days. We went to the park and we did sprints,
I love it.
and we chased our kids around and we kept up with them, and it's just the most beautiful feeling to have your energy back. Both of us were just saying, like, we feel young again, not to say that we're not young, but, your body, it may be one age, but how does it feel, you know? And it wasn't feeling that great for me, and now I'm feeling, like, incredible. I have a ton of energy, and it helped my mental health so much too, like, it gives you a lot of clarity to deal with a lot of hard things. Like, I had a lot of hard things hit me in my personal life, like, they say it rains, it
Mhm.
pours, and it was, like,
Yeah.
one thing after another, but because I've been on the juice, it's been easier to kinda stay consistent and maintain a more balanced emotional state. So I'd say that's a great benefit too.
Wow, amazing. And what would you say I can tell it's been a very positive experience for you and your husband. What would you say are some of the other benefits? Maybe a list of like all the benefits you experienced from the whole juice cleanse.
A list of all of them would be really hard, but to give you
Yeah.
several, the number one is, like, the inflammation has reduced, like, incredibly. I was having, like, pain in my elbows. I work at the computer all day, and I was having, like, just chronic pain in my elbows, chronic pain in my shoulders, and I was losing my range of motion. That's gone. It's gone. Like, my elbows feel amazing. I do still have some inflammation in my knees,
Mhm.
but I'm still carrying a lot of extra weight. So I'm still working toward a weight loss goal, and, it's just extra pressure on my knees, so I understand, like, why that still is, but one of the really massive benefits that I experienced juicing with my husband particularly was that our bond just really deepened. Like, our conversations deepened, our love for each other deepened, our consideration, our understanding of just being more understanding of what the other person is going through, but also understanding because nobody really understands what you go through on a juice cleanse until you do one, especially like extended. So that was one really big benefit, but another huge, huge benefit. I think this is could be so beneficial to families and couples that are interested in this. But it has been an incredible bonding experience for us with our children. So we have more patience, we have more energy, we can chase them around, play with them more. And not only that, but I'm not constantly cooking and cleaning. So all that time that I usually spend cooking and cleaning and wondering, what do I want to eat? What are we going to have? Preparing food, soaking things, doing this, doing that. All that time is now free for my family. And that has just been incredible. I know a lot of people think juicing is very burdensome as far as the juicing aspect, but a little bit of advice that I'll give is, and I know that this can be pricey. A juice cleanse can be pricey, and it is an investment in your health. So I do understand that some people can't afford to do this or maybe would need to save up. But something I did is because I'm very, very busy with a 2 and a 4-year-old and a full-time job, and my husband works long hours, but Whole Foods and other grocery stores juice, they juice fresh. So you can go to, like, Sam's Club or Whole Foods. I don't know if Sam's does it anymore, but Whole Foods definitely does because I go there every week. And you can buy some fresh pressed juice. Like you don't have to do all of your juicing. And I would usually like buy the fresh pressed orange juice and then juice my own green juice. Or like worst case scenario, buy a cold pressed juice, if
Mhm.
you need to. But I think with juice cleanses, sometimes we get caught up in the all or nothing sort of mentality. Whereas I'm like, hey, if you drink one cold pressed juice instead of going back to eating garbage,
Yeah.
that's the better option. So they also have like a fresher variety of cold pressed juice there. But yes, if you're busy and you don't have time, you have time to pick up something because you're having to pick up something already.
Yeah.
So
And I
that,
great points. I agree with that 100%. Just mix and match because it's a lot of work to make them all fresh. So sometimes
yeah,
if you have to mix and match and like buy them out, then it's okay too.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And I'm wondering,
totally.
was it hard in the beginning and did it take you a while to like get through the cravings? I know a lot of people struggle and they're like, I can only make it past 3 days or make it to a week. I want to do a long one, but I just can't do it. Like, do you have any tips or like how you managed to get through the times in the beginning?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know what it was, but 10 days is the number in my mind that I couldn't break through. And like the first 10 days are the roughest for me. And so I guess the first couple weeks. And so what I did, and first of all, like I failed before. So everybody, if you fall off the wagon, just get back on. It's okay. Just keep going. But what I would do is I had to think, had to go in my head.
Yeah.
I would, it's been a while because I don't have to do it so much anymore. Right
Yeah.
now, it's not so hard, but I'm like, yes, I know I had tips ready. So one big thing I did was like distract yourself. So if you I had never seen an episode of Downton Abbey, okay?
Yeah.
Until I started juice cleansing. And then it was like, okay, what can I do to help myself in the evening time when it's really hard not to eat? Because for a lot of us, it's hard at dinner time not to have that grounding.
Yeah.
So I would cut off the kitchen, shut down the kitchen, 7 or 8 o'clock, come upstairs, like remove myself so I'm not by the kitchen. Or if you don't have an upstairs, just go to another part of the house. And I would lay around and snuggle my kids and watch movies. Or if they didn't want to watch a movie and they didn't feel like playing or they were going to bed, then I would like binge watch a show or I would binge watch people's juice stories on YouTube.
Good
That is an
idea.
incredibly motivational tool that's free. So, you don't even have to pay for it or have any, extra cash to put toward it. And it's so motivational. And depending what your goals are too, another thing to keep yourself motivated is to check in on where you are with your goals. So for me, I had like a little chart. I should have brought it up here and shown you, but I had like a chart and it's got squares like a big long calendar and it had the days. And for me, it helps to have a visualization. So I numbered how whatever my first goal was, which was maybe like 10 days. And then as the days went by, I colored them in and could see and have that visual affirmation that I was like moving toward my goal. Additionally, like one of my goals was weight loss because I have been chronically overweight for so long. And I think all sizes are beautiful. I want to be very, you know, I'm so body positive. I think
Yeah.
everybody's beautiful at all sizes. And I was beautiful at the size I was before too. However, I was not healthy and the extra weight was really having an effect on me. Even now I still have a lot around the core that I'd like to get rid of. And I told you my knees, even after losing this weight, still hurt a bit. So that weight was affecting my health. So I would get on this scale on Mondays, like every week or every other week, and note down my progress, and I would note it down on my little calendar thingy that I created that I would write in my days, and I would also write little things on there like if I saw had something different happen, like plaque or parasites or something like that, I
Yeah.
would kind of notate that on there too, so I could just kind of see like what was going on, or if I felt like I was having like a hard time or like a healing crisis, I might write that on there too. And that's really motivational. Another thing that I did was I wrote down and surprised myself really, and not in a good way. I sat down at the beginning and was like, well, let me write down what's ailing me. What doesn't feel good in my body right now? And I sat with that and I wrote down those things. And Jillian, that list just got longer and longer and longer the more I thought, well, this hurts. Well, actually, this hurts too. Oh,
Wow.
yeah, I forgot that, you know, this is happening, or, that's happening, or like I was having horrendous tailbone pain. That's another thing. I think my tailbone was injured during childbirth, and my chiropractor just confirmed too that it's injured.
Wow.
But I was in like excruciating pain sitting down a lot of times. I couldn't like
Wow.
cycle anymore. And that is just completely, that pain is gone. When I just
Unreal.
talked to my chiropractor, I was like, since, I have this injury to my tailbone, do you think we should adjust it? And he was like, nope, whatever you're doing, like, don't poke the sleeping bear, whatever you're doing, that it's not hurting. Don't just keep doing that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And
So,
do you have a lot of energy? I know some people think like you can't work. They think like I had so much energy on my juice cleanse, but how's your energy been? And you've been able to still like take care of your kids, work, do all the things you normally do?
yeah, my energy gets better and better and better. I do want to be like open and real though, because I think sometimes there's this image of like we go on these juice cleanses and sort of like a miracle happens overnight,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden we're just amazing and our skin is
Yeah.
perfect. But that's not the case. Okay, it's really, I always say it's a roller coaster. It's an up and down roller coaster. So yes, my energy is on a constant increase, but I just wanted to say that I do have slumps, but that's like everyone. I don't think that that necessarily is all juice. I mean, we all go through times where we're higher and times where we're lower, so I do have my kind of like slumps. And also sometimes they say that that's when you're healing something. So there's that too. But my energy is really great. Like
Amazing.
I couldn't run anymore. I mean, I could, but it was like not really a run, more like a fast walk, and I didn't want to hurt myself after having my daughter. And like I said, my hips and my tailbone and everything, I had stopped running and even really going for long walks and doing certain things. And now like I rebound every day, and my husband and I take the kids in a double stroller, pushing both of them up and down hills, and I'm running. And then
Wow.
after we finish running, we take them to the park, which we used to be too tired to do. And then I take them to the park and chase them around and let them play there, and then get back home. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I've kind of been like, oh gosh, I don't want to like lose this energy when I come off the juice. What am I going to do now that I've gotten used to being able to like parent at this level? Is my
Yeah.
energy going to decrease or what? But
Your kids
yeah,
must be loving it.
yeah, they are. They are. They are so happy to like be getting outside more, and like I can let them have more free reign because I can catch them. So like at the park,
Yeah.
sometimes they're by the street. So it's like two sides are to the street. So I wouldn't be able to let them go very far,
Yeah.
go away from me. But now I can let them run off, and then pew, I can like catch them really fast. I
Amazing. I love it. You must be just so grateful to be feeling that way, especially if like you
am
weren't feeling so great before.
because my family is just the most important thing to me. And I wanted I it's been years, even before I had kids. And it's
Yeah.
funny because a memory just popped up on Facebook and reminded me from like years and years ago, like maybe 2016 or something. And it was a post I had put about a mom, and I was at the park trying to lose weight. I've been trying to lose weight like my whole life. I'm at the park, walking or whatever, and a mom just flies by me in her double stroller. And I was just like, I want to be like that when I grow up, like I want to be that mom that's like a good example for my kids for health, and, have them outdoors and running around and be able to keep up with them. And that literally just popped up like 3 days or so ago. And
Wow.
it just brought me to tears because I was like, I almost reposted it and said, like, I'm here, like that's me.
Wow.
That's me now,
Giving me goosebumps. Wow. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Would you say this has been one of the most amazing experiences of your entire life?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
It's in childbirth.
Yeah, of course.
I
And
would put
tomorrow,
it right up there. That's how incredible it's been.
yeah, amazing. And tomorrow is day 160. How many days do you think you're gonna go?
It's it's so funny because I have no idea. I said I was gonna follow intuitively, and my husband and I were gonna break together. 100 days made 155 for me. But I don't know, something just I wasn't ready yet. So he has since broken his fast and he's doing really good and he's excited to nibble on some fruit this weekend. But I'm not sure how long I'm gonna go. I could eat this weekend. I don't
Yeah.
even
And how
or
did he break
go
his? And
another
how do you what did he
oh,
break his fast with? And what do you plan on breaking your fast with, or do you not know yet?
he broke his fast. Initially, he went to bite into a mango, and then he was like, "Oh, this mango is not very good. You know, I'm too bougie for this mediocre fruit." So he he threw that out because
I
he's
love
so
it.
particular about his fruit now, and I don't blame him. You know, we're really careful about what we put in our body.
Yeah.
But he ended up having some grapes. So I know you love grapes. I watched
Yeah,
your
I was
videos
just
about grape
snacking. I have
cleansing.
like so many grapes right here. I was just snacking on them before we got on. So I love grapes. They're healing. You know, I did a 20, I think it was 28-day grape cleanse I did once. It's on my
Yeah,
channel. I forget how many days it was. It felt like more cleansing than when I did my juice cleanse. It felt more cleansing than any cleanse. I was like, what the heck? Like, especially through your lungs and like your sinuses. I think it's great for
I
anybody who
remember you saying
smoked or
that.
had asthma in the past or like had secondhand smoke exposed to them. And oh, wow, it was quite the cleanse. But yeah, no, I'm so proud of you. This is just so amazing. And I'm wondering, like, how
You.
many juices have you been drinking a day? And maybe like what have been your go-to juices?
I would say 4 to 6 juices a day for the majority of the time, but just recently in the past couple weeks, I've started like I don't know, I'm not hungry during the day and I'm so busy and I'm like exercising and doing things with my kids that sometimes I find I don't have a juice till like 7 p.m. And I'm not
Wow.
recommending that.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not recommending that either because I've been a little bit fatigued the last couple days too. So I'm going to make more of a conscious effort. But it's just been the last couple weeks. I'm not sure. And it could be stress too. But normally, and through the majority of my juice fast, I would drink 4 to 6
Of like the big
juices
mason
a day.
jars. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the 32.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And are you doing like greens and fruit juices?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
So, at first, like when I first did my juice cleanse, I tried to really do like a lot of the lemon ginger blast, and I really struggled, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
this next time around, I'm the type of person that I kind of love to look at like a lot of different ways that people do things and take, you know, what works for me from those different things and make my own sort
Mm-hmm.
of
That's
formulation.
good.
So that's what I've done in this instance. So since it was so tough for me, like, on all the greens, I kind of did at first, I was doing half greens, half fruit, so maybe I'd have a cou 2 fruit juices and 2 green juices, and then I kind of eventually leaned a little bit more on the fruit, but there are times when intuitively I can tell my body's like, "You need some greens," and then I might have a whole day of just green juice. So,
Mm-hmm.
I just
Wow.
kinda listen to my body however it goes,
Good.
but when people ask me, I typically suggest start off with half fruit and half vegetable, and then, you know, see how you feel, and
Mm,
if you need a little more of something, then have a little more, but it's better to drink a little more fruit juice than green juice and stay on your cleanse than to quit your cleanse because you don't like the green juice.
yeah, good points. And what kind of juicer have you been using?
So, at first, I had the regular Nama, and my husband got me the J2, and it
Oh,
is so awesome.
I hear it's so awesome. I want to get that one.
It makes life so easy. It's so much easier to clean than the original Nama, and it's so much quicker. I can juice a lot at once. And some of my favorite juices, I love watermelon, pineapple, mint,
Mm,
lime. I drink
wow.
one all the time. Sometimes there's been times where I've gone like 3 or 4 days just having watermelon juice because I was just obsessed with it. In
Wow.
the summer. Another good one, I drink a lot of orange juice, y'all. I go to
Yeah,
Whole Foods and I buy those jugs. I should have brought one up here so I could show
I did on
y'all.
mine too. It's so good, the
Yeah,
citrus. I know. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, especially for I mean, for anybody, but, like, you know, as a busy parent. It's so helpful sometimes to just be able to go pick the juice up.
Yeah.
Uh, Another one I like, I'm trying to think what all was in it because lately I've been buying my juice. I love anything pineapple, but like pineapple, apple, ginger. That
Mm,
one is a really good one too.
that sounds good.
And I say just juice whatever. Oh, I know another great one. Carrot, mandarin, apple, ginger. That one is a really, really good one too.
Wow.
You can pretty I know you know, but for the viewers, you can pretty much throw whatever,
Oh, yeah.
in the juicer and try something out and see if you like it. And if you like it, then write it down so you can do it again.
Yeah,
Like
for
Fully
sure.
Raw Christina has tons of juice recipes too.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
amazing.
how did I not even mention her either? I've watched her for years and years when you asked me who's inspired me, but there's
Yeah.
been a lot of people.
She's a given, I think, for anyway,
Oh, okay, yes, I
she's
agree.
amazing. And I'm wondering, did you have any like have you had any scary moments? Like, oh, like maybe I feel like I'm gonna pass out or maybe I should stop this or anything like that?
Yes, I think that, you go through healing crises and healing is painful. We don't realize it takes us so long to, damage our bodies, but we want to heal them so quickly. And it's just not easy. The body is really having to do work. So there have been times where, I mean, for instance, like this is something I'm still battling with on day 159, which is part of the reason I'm not quite ready to quit either, is that I'm having like breakouts
Hmm.
around here. And I I've never had that problem. This happened when I started juicing, you know?
Wow.
So I know that something is coming out, like something is detoxing. That's just the normal detox symptom. And also it's like on the back of my hairline too, like on the back of my neck. And
Oh,
it's been slowly getting better as of late, like the last couple weeks. So I feel like it was some real deep healing going on. And I'm not sure what exactly, you know. But
yeah.
yeah, there's been times like that in the juice cleanse. And that's why it's important to have community and friends that you can say, especially if you have friends that have juiced before, where you can say, like, hey, have you ever heard of
Mhm.
this happening? Or, hey, did you have problems with your skin? Just whatever it is. So you can kind of get someone to help you and, tell you if they think it's normal. That reassurance can be really helpful because sometimes it makes you want to jump ship, but hang in there if you're going through something like that, you know.
Yeah.
You'll get through it and you'll feel so much better. Like each time I felt so much better, but it brings you to the point that you want to quit too.
Mhm.
It really does bring you to sometimes different things, like especially skin issues. That's something that, everyone sees and it can make you feel vulnerable and embarrassed, which none of us should, but
Mhm.
it's not a perfect
Yeah.
world. So people are
Yeah.
judgmental and it gives us, it makes us think certain ways. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I have had those moments. Also, like, it kinda made like, there's been times when my gums kind of felt a little swollen, but I already had some teeth issues that I was, working with the dentist on right before. So I would get a little bit of sensitivity, but I use the sensitivity toothpaste and,
Oh,
make
good.
sure I take good care of my teeth, and I haven't had any problems
Yeah,
there.
amazing. And
Um,
have you released any mucoid plaque or parasites or like any crazy things?
so much.
Wow.
I have released so much mucoid plaque, and this is another reason why I haven't stopped juicing yet. Drum roll. I released a parasite today, this morning, when I
No
got up.
way.
Like,
Wow.
this long.
Was it moving or no?
No, I thought they were all gone. And when I saw that this morning and I was kinda thinking about eating this weekend, I was like, I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know if
like,
I'm ready
"I'm
yet.
not stopping yet."
There's still more of that in there? I thought that was all gone. I haven't seen any of that in a long time.
And after
Yeah.
you release the parasite and the mucoid plaque, like, do you feel like any sense, some people say they feel like a sense of euphoria or like they feel better, like they needed to get that out of them. Do you notice any differences in how you feel?
Yes, it's like when you're coming up on a big release of that. Well, for me personally, and I've heard, other people say the same thing, but like before I released a lot of mucoid plaque, I had a horrible time. I wanted to quit juicing. I was feeling awful. Like I was crying to my friends and, my support community. And I mean, I was just having a rough time. And they were saying, hold in there, Jen. Like once
Mhm.
you must be like on the edge of a breakthrough, and I feel like that was around day 60 or 70 or something. And then I had this huge release, and it was like the world was lifted off my shoulders. It's incredible when that stuff gets out of you. And I feel like it's that last, they say that those parasites kind of like, they have an effect on your mind and can influence your thoughts and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it feels like that. It felt like a last ditch effort to like, stay in my habitat, and it
Wow.
was just making me miserable. Like I was so miserable. And that's happened every time before like a big release. I felt miserable and wanted to quit. That's why I encourage people, if you are feeling like you want to quit, you're probably like right there. So many friends have told me that. You're probably right on the edge of a breakthrough. And it's been true every time. So if you're
Wow.
juicing and you're feeling like really crummy, hang in there like a few more days. Take it easy on yourself. Self-care. Go lay down, relax, take care of yourself, talk to yourself kindly, do some extra things for yourself, take a bath, light a candle, whatever it is that you like to do. Go outside, get some sun, ground. These are all things that'll really help you through those difficult times, especially in the beginning.
Mhm. And was there anything you took in particular to help, like, release those things or any enemas or colonics or, like, did you take psyllium husk or bentonite clay?
I did take husk and clay for a while, and, like, every single time mucoid plaque came out. I haven't taken any in a while, just intuitively, you know, it's not feeling that good drinking that anymore, haven't been on juice for so long, so I haven't really been doing it. My husband did it off and on up till his 100 days.
Wow.
So, yes, I did that, and also, when I mentioned that I was having that tough time around day 60 or 70 or somewhere in that patch, I went and had my first ever colonic. I had never done one before, and I was disappointed because I didn't see anything come out. I was like, "I don't have anything left in here." Like, nothing came out, right? Because you can see, like
Yeah.
you can see,
You
and nothing
see,
was coming
yeah.
out, and I'm like, "I wasted my money and, like, did all this," and nothing came out, and then, like, a couple days later, a lot of plaque came, but, like, the biggest parasite ever, like, intact, like, I'm talking, like, long. I took a picture of it. So, the colonic was helpful after all because I think it washed that sucker out of there and got things moving anyway, so I do think it's beneficial, but I also think just be careful because I have heard of some friends kinda, like, getting hooked on needing, like, an enema and a colonic every
Yeah.
day, so I
They're
do
addictive.
just wanna warn just to be careful. I only had the one, and I felt good after, so I haven't been back to have another one, but, I might go back and have another one at some point if I feel called to, if I
Yeah.
feel like I need to wash out, but yeah,
And I
that is
think
a
they're
really
okay
helpful.
now and then, not too often. I think I used to do them too often. A few years ago, I started doing coffee enemas, and that's how I realized I had parasites, and I was like, "Whoa," and
Oh,
then when they would release, I would feel so good, but then I got, like, addicted to these coffee enemas, and I think it's so I totally stopped. Now I just do, like, a colonic now and then, like, barely ever, 'cause it's addictive, right? And I think it can mess with, like, your microbiome and your colon, and
yeah,
I don't know, that's just my opinion where I am right now, but
yeah.
and I'm curious, like, how were you eating right before the cleanse? Did you do anything to prepare? Or, like, how was your diet right before you started?
Well, let's see, I had done that 10-day one, and then the parasites got in my mind, and I broke it with pizza. Vegan pizza, I've been vegan for a long time, but that stuff hurts your body too, that vegan
Yeah.
processed food. People don't realize they think vegan and they think like, what like raw vegan, like veggies and carrots and stuff, but yeah, no. I was eating vegan junk food, also healthy food too, but I really realized like if you have that junk food, that processed stuff, even if you think it's not frequent and you have it a couple times a week, it does, have an effect on your body. So I did eat a lot of whole food, plant-based, and a lot of healthy food, but I
Yeah.
would have like vegan pizza or vegan tacos at a restaurant. And also, I'm not saying don't do that. I think everybody should do whatever, makes them happy and
Yeah.
whatever is like
100%.
balancing for them. Because I think each of our bodies is different and we all have to figure out like what works for us. Like for me, my goal has always been to get to a place of high raw. Like I would like to eat, all raw during the day and then have something raw at dinner, but also maybe have like a sweet potato with my salad or like a little bowl of veggies, like steamed veggies or something like that.
Mhm.
But, I saw someone the other day who eats raw and she had a pack of Beyond Burgers in her cart. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? And she looks fabulous. And I'm not sure what age, but she looked like she was a little older than me. And I was just like, wow, what freedom that she eats a raw vegan diet and then every once in a blue moon wants to cook a Beyond Burger and put it on
Yeah.
her salad. I was like, that's incredible freedom right there, and something that I would love to reach. Although I don't want to go back to eating the Beyond Burgers because they give me inflammation, but just that food freedom. Like juicing is so freeing and I don't want to go back to feeling that like food has a control over me. And I know a
Yeah.
lot of other people can relate to that too because I have like food addictions and I binge and I comfort eat, which a lot of us do. We have traumas from our childhood and things, and that's something I learned very young and has caused me to eat and be overweight, my whole life. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well said. And have you experienced any have you felt more spiritual on the cleanse? Or like I know when I do cleanses, I just have this more like I feel more creative. I know Steve Jobs used to do like fruit cleanses because it like made him super creative with his business stuff and the ideas. And that's how I feel when I do cleanses. So did it have that impact or like any spiritual levels you reached or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel more connected to the universe, God, spirituality. I pray more. I A big part of spirituality is gratitude. And I feel so much gratitude for even the small things in life. Like I mentioned this in a group call the other day, just cleaning out the spice cabinet with my husband, like preparing to eat again. We kind of organized it. We're trying to reduce our salt consumption when we start eating again. And, we reorganized like our pantry and our spice cabinet just in preparation. And I was just so thankful and joyous in that moment. It's caused me to juicing has really let me appreciate being in the moment versus fear of things in the future like, "Oh, what's wrong? I have this
Hmm.
inflammation. Am I gonna get sick and not be here for my kids?" And then, you're out of the present moment when you do that. Or when you're really, really stressed, you're out of the present moment. But juicing has really let me be in the present and be thankful and feel so much freedom, freedom from food addiction, freedom from being stuck at the sink all day cleaning and stuck at the stove all day, cooking,
Yeah.
which I love cooking too, don't get me wrong, but, on occasion, like who really I don't love cooking every single meal and having a million dishes, and so that's freedom, and now I feel freedom in my movement. I can run around, I feel more free to just be myself. I'm not wearing makeup, which is something I think makeup's beautiful and I love it, and I think that everyone should do whatever makes them happy, but I do think sometimes we use it in the wrong way, like I really want to be really kind to myself and take care of myself. And I think it's great if use makeup to accentuate and, artistic. You can use it for creativity because I'm an
Yeah.
artist, I see the beauty in it. But for me personally, it was like a shield to hide behind, like
Yeah.
to hide whatever I saw as a flaw or like this feeling since I was younger that I can't go out without makeup, you know?
Yeah.
And so that feels really freeing too, to, uh, just jump on camera with you and like not have any makeup on. I put on a little tinted chapstick, so that my lips wouldn't be washed out in the video. But
And you're glowing though. You look amazing. You look
oh, thank
incredible.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, this has been so awesome. I've loved having you on and thank you so much, like from the bottom of my heart for sharing your story with me and with all the viewers. And to end off, I want to ask, like, do you have any words of encouragement or anything that comes to mind, maybe for somebody out there who might be struggling? Maybe they want to do a juice cleanse, or maybe not a juice cleanse. Maybe they want to do something to get healthier and they just feel like they're having a hard time, like taking the leap and adopting those healthier habits.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that juicing is the ultimate form of self care. And I think that what I've been telling people who have been reaching out to me for help is, 4 to 6 32-ounce juices a day will give you plenty of calories and everything you need. But additionally, like if you feel like you can't juice every meal, then replace one meal with a juice. You're going to feel a
Yeah.
difference. Like just to consume some raw living foods, you will feel a difference in your body, especially if you're on the standard American diet or if you're a junk food vegan, really anything, if you're not consuming a lot, you're gonna feel it. So if I've been encouraging people, like if you feel like you can't do all juice, try to have one juice a day and maybe replace a meal with that juice. Or if you feel like you can't do juice, replace one meal a day with like a mono fruit meal. So just have fruit for one meal a day. Or if you feel like you can't do that, then have a salad for one meal a day. And then when you get comfortable with it and you start to feel the benefits and you start to feel a little bit better, then increase it. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. We can start off doing that. Like over the last couple years, I've been incorporating a lot more raw meals over that time. And also, if you're interested, like experiment and look at some videos on YouTube of all the different foods you can make with living foods. But I think my biggest encouragement to everybody would be to just eat more fruits and vegetables or drink them, you know,
Hmm.
whatever
You're
you need
so
to
right.
do.
Even just one, I'm gonna make a green juice after our call. That reminded me. So thank you. Even just the one juice, it makes a huge difference. Oh, your
Yeah.
kid's so cute.
He just woke up, he slept in.
Oh, well, thanks for taking the time with us away from your kids. Hi, cutie. And I just want to
Okay.
ask you one more question. It's very easy and quick. What is the like one word that comes to mind to describe this juice cleanse?
This is gratitude. It's got to
Wow.
be the biggest one.
Yeah.
Gratitude. I'm so thankful that God has helped guide me toward this path of learning how to love myself again. Sometimes, especially as a mom, we learn to, put ourselves on the back burner and we take care of everyone else and we do everything for everyone else. And we forget about ourselves and how important it is to take care of ourselves. And this is literally the way. It's not eating junk food when we're not feeling good. It's not, go and have alcohol or whatever it is. It is, I'm sorry, my son pushed the
No, it's
camera. Might
okay.
have to
So
edit this
cute.
part.
No, it's okay. Keep him in. Unless
So,
you want me to take him out, of course.
well, he just woke up. He's like, he's
He's
not even
cute.
close, but it's okay. But yeah, I'm sorry. What was the
Yeah,
question?
no, that was what you said about the gratitude. You answered it. I think that's
Okay.
beautiful. Yeah. And where can everybody find you? Is there somewhere that you want to share and I can link down below?
Well, I recently have been thinking about starting a YouTube channel just to kind of tell people about my journey and give tips because I've had a lot of people reach out to me and I've been really, really thankful, but also a little bit overwhelmed to type out individual messages to so many people. So I thought it might be easier to just make a couple videos. So I'm going to do that on YouTube under Jennie and Juice. And I'm on Instagram too. I'll start putting my juicing stuff on there, and it's Jennie and Juice as well. And then
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook. So if you are needing some help with juicing, I'm definitely going to try to get some content out to help you because I want everybody to just feel as amazing as I do. I feel like
Yeah.
it's everyone, we all deserve it. We all deserve love, and this is the way to love yourself, to take care of yourself and to feed yourself foods that really improve your quality of life.
100%. Well said. You're just amazing. And thanks again.
Oh, thanks, Jillian.
And to the viewers, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If it added some value to your day, give it a big thumbs up right now. Make sure you subscribe if you don't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.